All right, what's going on, guys? Hope you all are having a fabulous weekend. Wanted to drop this one because this one, just about as excited about this particular company as I was when I saw Chargepoint. Although I had known about Chargepoint and was anticipating it, this one wasn't really on my radar. But once I began to dig into the investor presentation, look over the valuation, which I'm seeing. I've watched a couple other videos of some other YouTubers who are completely getting this one wrong. The valuation on this one is absolutely phenomenal, especially for a SPAC. And I'll kind of maybe do a little bit of compare and contrast of it, mainly against Chargepoint, just to show you what I mean when I begin to talk about the valuation metrics and how this one is under to fairly valued, even at current prices, honestly. So I've heard others say, no way I'd buy it chasing it up, but people are understanding that this one was valued kind of low on a multiple of when in comparison to, like, you look at Blink Charging, you look at Beam, you look at ChargePoint. These charging companies are getting applied a huge multiple. Growth on these things are exponential. They're getting applied a growth company multiple because the expansion of EV chargers and its infrastructure is going to absolutely be massive. So these being lumped, these all that are a part of that infrastructure, because like I said, just the amount of growth that they're going to see exponentially over the next 10 years is going to justify a high growth multiple. At any rate, that being said, let's take a look at first the transaction overview. EVBox is a leading global provider of smart charging solutions for electric vehicles with Europe's largest install base of charging solutions and their most advanced cloud-based software offering. This is going to be called EVBox Group, so there's quite a few smaller subsidiaries, I believe, under their wings. All right, guys, so here's a little bit of confusion, I think, as well. Why you can't find some of all the data surrounding EVBox is, check it out. So the SPAC here, TPGY, is a publicly traded special purpose acquisition company. We know that. Today announced it has entered into a definitive agreement with ENGIE. So the name of the company that they entered into the definitive agreement with is ENGIE New Business SAS, a wholly owned subsidiary of ENGIE SA, a multinational utility with headquarters in France. And they're going to acquire EV Charged BV, the company it's going to become EVBox. It's going to be named to, or EVBox Group. So you guys see, so this whole thing is, I believe, a transaction underway. So a lot of the information you're going to find is not going to be about EVBox, essentially, because it all is going to be moving forward under that brand. Okay, but what they do say is that EVBox is a leading global provider of smart charging solutions for electric vehicles with Europe's largest installed. Well, listen to that. I'm going to repeat that. With Europe's largest installed base of charging solutions and the most advanced cloud-based software offering. I mean, you could say you have the most advanced software, but that's one thing. But to say you have the largest installed base of charging solutions is one you got to have numbers to back that up. So, all right, here's what I like about it. So, so they're getting $425 million of cash to put on the balance sheet, and then another $225 comes via PIPE. The good thing here is right here. So they're only valuing EVBox at an applied, basically just under $1 billion is the implied enterprise value, and then you get that $425 million that's going to be put on this balance sheet. Add those two together, $1.394 billion. Okay, when Chargepoint went public, it came on at a valuation of $2.4 billion. So it was an additional $1 billion more than this EVBox. So every time, and that was based at the $10 SPAC price, listing price, right? So every time, $2.4 billion. So every time it goes up by $10. You're doubling that $2.4 billion on Chargepoint, and it's up to about 40. So you're looking at around $10 billion or so, somewhere in that range, if I'm doing the math right. So, and then you got EVBox closed at $24. Okay, so we'll call it a $1.4 billion market cap times 2.5, so 3.5 billion. So at the end of the day, here's the multiples of these two companies just off of this research right here. So Chargepoint is at 10 billion at current, at 40 when it's at 40. Right now 24. I just call it 25. TPGY, its market cap's 3.5 billion. All right. Why that's important is, let's take a look, and then we're going to do a side by side and take a peek at the revenue of the two companies, the projected and estimated revenue of these two companies going forward. EVBox is only projecting out to 2023, and ChargePoint is projecting out all the way to 2027. So we'll just use the data we got. All right, so EVBox we'll use the data they got. So 21, 22, and 23 is really what we can compare. So the estimated revenue in 2021 for EVBox is 120 euros, euro to dollar. So 121 million euro computes to $146 million in revenue in USD. So from euro to USD, EVBox is looking at $146 million in revenue. ChargePoint, on the other hand, is looking at, in 2021, revenue of $198 million. And between the two, EVBox is looking at that being a year-over-year growth of 72%, whereas ChargePoint's growth year-over-year on that, using that metric on their estimated revenue, is 46%. So EVBox is just an insane growth company. Looking ahead at 2022, EVBox is estimating 225 million euro again. So we'll do 225 euro. Guess what? That's $273 million in revenue. And ChargePoint is looking at $346 million in revenue. ChargePoint's year-over-year growth is 75%, and EVBox's year-over-year revenue growth is an exponential 87%. And then if we move to 2023, EVBox is 372 million euro. 372 euro. You're looking at 451 million by calendar year. And in 2023, ChargePoint is looking at having revenue of $346 million. EVBox's year-over-year CAGR on that is 65%, and ChargePoint's is 75%. All right, to summarize that, make a long story short, guys, EVBox is going to be growing faster than ChargePoint. So the multiple being applied to it is off. I personally think if you think that was a fun ride with SBE going to 40, I think EVBox can double it. So all I gotta say is buckle up. I'm loading up. I'm gonna continue. Boy, how happy would I be if I got back under 20? Because that run up, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't buy then. I did buy on the dip that it took on the very first day, or first couple of days there. Got it around the 22 range. Actually bought warrants down around I bought them around $5.30 on the warrants. Are you kidding me? So you can imagine if this thing goes to $50 and the warrants could go, $35, I could, whatever. Let's see, if the warrants hit $35, I'm looking at a 7 times multiplier. So this one is one I'm absolutely loading up on and holding long, right on through merger, see what happens, unless it just goes crazy. And then I'll take quite a bit of profits on it. But very excited about this one. And there's so many good SPACs right now. It's unbelievable. We are in the greatest era of SPACs ever, for sure. When it was like, Golden Nugget and Hyliion, Tattooed Chef, that group there was a good group. But now there are so many. I know you guys have been bombarding me in comments and things and trying to cover them all. And, I have been internally in my Discord and in my Patreon, we've been covering them. But I just just been overwhelming to try to make videos on them all. So I will be dropping them, the ones that I feel are the highest rated. Whether it's the best timing or not, I can't get all that right, but I will be covering them, and I think I'm gonna do a live stream soon, do a Q&A. We can flesh out some of that as well. So I hope this video is providing you some value. If it is, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, also turn on notifications, and consider joining the Patreon group. Like I said, we break news there, we break information there, we find new companies there, and we try to make money there. Great group of investors, great group of people, pushing up on 600 people in the Discord and Patreon members. So I appreciate each and every one of them, and I appreciate you for tuning in and being a supporter. And that's all I got on this one, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Be sure to have that bell turned on. Doses.